Audi has launched the Q8 60 TFSI-e, which is a mouthful to say, and not to be confused with the Q8 e-tron, which is fully electric. This large and luxuriously appointed SUV coupe blends the best of both worlds with its plug-in hybrid powertrain. It's certainly great on paper, but how does it stack up in the real world? Stay watching to find out. This Q8 plug-in hybrid is closely related to the petrol and diesel Q8, but not the fully electric e-tron, which has only just adopted the Q8 name. This is a well-specified SUV with lots of premium items included, like the panoramic sunroof, heated and electric front seats, Valcona leather upholstery, as well as high-end haptic feedback technology screens. Our test vehicle has also been fitted with the full leather package, which adds $8,900 to the price tag. That includes full Napa leather trims throughout the car, as well as electric sunblinds on the rear outboard windows. Add another $2,300 for the blue paintwork and another $2,300 for the upgraded 22-inch alloy wheels. Value for money wise, if you're comparing it just to its rivals, it's not outrageous. But once you start comparing it to its fuel-based cousins, which are all about $15,000 less, it might be harder to swallow. That being said, if you're after something fully electric like the Q8 e-tron, it's only a little bit more expensive. The full specs are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you want more info. The Q8e is one of the few SUV coupes that I really love the shape of, and I think it's because the rear isn't too pinched looking. It's a massive car, but it's well proportioned, and its wide stance over these gorgeous 22-inch alloy wheels makes it look like it means business. The design highlights for me are the sporty red calipers, black accents, and large air intake vents across the body of the car. The grille is enormous and is complemented by these LED matrix headlights, which really just make the front pop. The interior looks gorgeous with the flush joinery and leather upholstery and trims. The dashboard is headlined by a 10.1-inch touchscreen multimedia screen, as well as an 8.9 climate control panel. The dark privacy tint, panoramic sunroof, and black headliner just add to the wow factor. Being a hybrid model, you do miss out on any front storage in this, and the capacity in the boot drops by 100 litres to make way for the electric battery. But don't stress, because this is a large car and you don't really have any problems in terms of space in the cabin. I love the room that I have in this row. I have plenty of legroom and headroom in this. The seats themselves are comfortable but on the firmer side. I do like though that you've got adjustable lumbar and under thigh supports. Like I mentioned, the front seats are heated, but I am surprised that at this price point you don't also have ventilation functions. The seats themselves sit low, which is uncommon for an SUV, but that does mean that you position yourself in more of a lounging way, which I actually really like. It gives more of a sedan feel in that way. In this row, individual storage can feel quite thin, and that leads it to feeling quite lived in a short amount of time. You have a very shallow shelf-like middle console, good sized glove box, 2 cup holders, but I do like that the storage bins and drink bottle holders in the doors are quite large. The touchscreen multimedia system has haptic feedback. That just means that it vibrates when you touch it. It's a little bit gimmicky for me, but the system itself is easy to use once you spend some time with it. I also like the other features this comes with, like built-in sat-nav, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a Bang & Olufsen sound system with a whopping 17 speakers. Hello, car concert. The climate control panel can be a little bit fiddly to use, but overall, the cockpit feels very driver-orientated with how easy it is to reach controls and the clear head-up display. The charging options up front are really good with 2 USB-C ports, a 12-volt port, and a wireless charging pad to choose from. There is a stack of room in this back seat, and I have plenty of room for my 168 centimeter height, which is great. It's also just a really easy car to get in and out of with the wide door apertures and the higher ground clearance. The seats themselves are pretty comfortable, but the backrest is super supportive, which I really like. Individual storage options I feel are a bit better in this row than the front, with 2 big map pockets, a large storage bin and drink bottle holder in each door, as well as cup holders in this fold down armrest. The amenities are good, but not outstanding for the car's price point. You get reading lights, 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt port, as well as climate control, but manual fan control. But I do really like that you get 4 directional air vents because it's honestly like an Arctic winter in this back row. The boot is a good size at 505 litres, but you can't store bulky items at the front because of the coupe styling. It has adaptive air suspension, so you can raise or lower the height of the car, which is great. And I really like that it's got a level loading space and a 40-20-40 split on the back seat. Just opens up the storage options. This model comes with the really cool adjustable luggage anchors that are on racking, as well as a power tailgate. Our test vehicle has a 3-litre V6 turbo-petrol plug-in hybrid engine with a maximum power output of 340 kilowatts and 700 newton meters of torque. You'll get a happy tummy sucking sensation if you ever have to put your foot down because it can do a 0 to 100 kilometer sprint time in just 5.4 seconds. The Q8e features an 8-speed auto transmission and is an all-wheel drive. You also won't notice the switch between the petrol or electric engine components, and that makes for a very pleasant driving experience. Being a plug-in hybrid, this has a 17.9 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery that produces a pure electric driving range of 47 kilometers, although I only ever saw a top range of 43 kilometers. Which is pretty small range considering the size and weight of this SUV. You do feel like you chew through it pretty quickly. The Q8e has a Type 2 charging port, but lacks the faster DC charging component, so you're stuck with AC charging. Audi says that it will take 2.5 hours to charge, but that's on a wall box. Expect much longer on a normal socket. The official combined fuel cycle figure is 2.6 litres per 100 kilometers. Realistically though, my best onboard fuel figure that I saw was 4.9 litres in hybrid mode. And once the electric battery was depleted, I saw my fuel litres sort of hover around the 9.1 litre mark. Not bad considering the size and power of this thing, but with most plug-ins, you'll get the best fuel econ if you regularly charge the battery. For someone like me who does a lot of regional and longer trips, it's not the best combo, but urban dwellers may find it's perfect. I didn't find that the regenerative braking was super strong in this, but you do gain percentage if you have to head down a hill. My average kilowatt hour usage came to about 8.7 kilowatt hour in cruising mode, but I did see it hit the mid-30s whenever I had to accelerate. This has plenty of power and the steering and handling feel very nimble. I had to do a long winding mountain road this week and I could tackle corners at speed and the car just felt like it was glued to the road, which gave me a lot of confidence in how it handled. The adaptive air suspension gives you a well cushioned ride despite the fact that you've got those big 22-inch alloys. I also found that the outside noise just is really well muffled in here and it just made for a very pleasant cabin space. Like I mentioned before, you don't notice when the engine switches between the petrol and the electric components. To be honest, I just forgot that this was a hybrid altogether because of it. I like the Audi pre-sense system because a little green foot icon sometimes pops up on the head-up display when you're coming up to slow traffic or say a traffic sign like a stop sign or a roundabout. And if you pull your foot off the accelerator, the car will start braking for you. I thought it was a bit weird, but certainly a cool feature. Even though you don't notice the size of this car when you're actually driving it, when you go to park, you will notice that it fills out a car space. And that's why I found that the 360-degree view camera system was so important, and I loved how clear it was as well. It's got front and rear parking sensors, but I did have to turn down the sensitivity levels for the collision avoidance detection system, just because it activated and scared the crap out of me this week. And it seemed to activate over nothing, because I wasn't around anything when it did turn itself on. Having the car brake for you like that can be a little bit confronting. The Q8e has a great host of safety features, which is always good to see. But I really like the adaptive cruise control with lane keeping and stop and go functions. It has the right balance of sensitivity and it doesn't slow down dramatically when you're approaching a car in front. This variant of the Q8 is untested by ANCAP and is thus unrated, but its fuel-based cousins did achieve maximum 5-star ratings from 2019. It has 8 airbags, including side chest protection airbags in both rows, but it's usual to see those only in the front row, so that's really good. The full safety specs are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you need more info. The Q8e comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is a normal term for the class. You can also get a 5-year or up to 75,000 kilometre servicing plan, which costs $3,570, or an average of $714 per service, which is actually quite reasonable for the class. Servicing intervals are also good at every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. The Audi Q8 60 TFSI offers an interesting engine combination, but with the small electric driving range and strictly AC charging, I kind of feel like it's a case of what's the point? It is more expensive than its fuel-based cousins, and it's only a little bit more to jump to the fully electric e-tron. Having said that, I do like everything else that this car offers. Its luxurious appointments, comfort, and fantastic handling make up for the shortfall of the plug-in hybrid engine component for me. Regional or country folks who do longer distances might not be able to wring out the full potential of this car, but urban dwellers will certainly fare better. So this gets a 7.8 out of 10 from me. If you're after more details, check out my full review at carsguide.com.au, and I'll see you next week.